Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to discuss about one of the type of LC, that is red clause LC. What are the type of loan are sanctioned under red clause LC? What are their advantage and disadvantage? Let's begin. Red clause LC. As we know that it is one of the type of LC where the issuing bank make a payment, or we can say that here the issuing bank makes an advance payment to the beneficiary under a LC for a specific amount or for a specific percentage of the total face value of a credit as an advance to the beneficiary. So here the beneficiary is availing a pre-shipment finance facility under this LC, right? So we can say that red clause LC is what? It is that LC where the exporter avail pre-shipment finance facility, or we can say that here the exporter receives an advance payment. Here the exporter receives an advance payment through issuing bank under a LC for a specific portion of amount of the total value of a LC is called as red clause LC. Red clause LC, it can also be called as an advance payment LC, because here the issuing bank is making an advance payment to the beneficiary, so it is called as advance payment LC, where the issuing bank makes payment to the beneficiary before the shipment of goods happen from beneficiary side, right? So we can say that red clause LC is a advance payment LC where the issuing bank makes an advance payment to the beneficiary for a specific portion of amount or a specific percentage of total value of a total face value of a credit as an advance before the shipment of the goods happened. Let's move forward. As we can see in this diagram, the red clause LC is what? It is an equal to the availing advance pre-shipment finance facility. Means here it is the advance pre-shipment finance facility is availed by the exporter, that is called red clause LC. Why we were calling it as a red clause LC? How its name derived? Actually, this clause is typed in red ink. That's why it is calling as red clause LC. Why it is typed in red ink? Because it is typed in red ink because it need to draw the attention of the all parties involved in LC, because here there is a specific portion is need to be made in advance. So in order to attain or in order to draw an attention of all parties, so it is typed in red ink. So that's why it is called as red clause LC, because it is typed, or we can say that it is inked in red ink. Now we will discuss the other aspect of red clause LCs. Number one is the proportion of advance, or we can say that what is the ratio of advance payment is being made to the beneficiary. Under this type of LC, there is a specific percentage of the total face value of a credit is being paid as an advance to the beneficiary, and its range between the 20 to 25% of the total value of a credit. Means under this type of LC, the payment which is being made in advance is of the 20 to 25% of the total value of a credit is being made as an advance. After that, to whom this LC is favorable? Red clause LC is always favorable to exporter. Why it is always favorable to exporter? Because here exporter does not need to make any sort of expenses out of his own pocket, right? Because here it is receiving as an advance portion. Here it is receiving an advance payment for carrying out pre-shipment activities. So Whenever the exporter is receiving advance payment, or we can say it is a source of fund for the exporter, so that it can carry out its activities before shipment of goods, like purchasing of raw material, production or manufacturing of goods. These were the activities which need to be carried out before the shipment of goods happened. So these activities can be carried out with the help of advance payment which it has received from the issuing bank. So we can say that this type of LC is always favorable to exporter, right? Now we will discuss on the documentation part. Under red clause LC, the documentation part is required less as compared to green clause LC. What is green clause LC? We will discuss it later. I am just giving a short brief of the green clause LC. In green clause LC, it is, we can say that it's an extension of a red clause LC, where the issuing bank does not only provide advance payment, it also provide the warehousing, or we can say that a storage facility at the origin of port, or origin port or departure port, we can say that. So in the green clause LC, it also provide, it or not only provide advance payment, it also provide the storage facility or warehousing facility at departure port, right? But here in red clause LC, it only provide advance payment. It does not provide any sort of warehousing facilities. So if we talk about the documentation part, under red clause LC, there is less number of documentary required if we talk with, or we compare it with green clause LC, right? Let's move forward. What are the type of loan are sanctioned under red clause LC? There were basically two type of loans sanctioned under red clause LC. These are, first is unsecured loan, second one is secured loan. First we will understand what is unsecured loan. The loan which is not backed by any sort of security is called as unsecured loan. Means under unsecured loan, the issuing bank makes an advance payment for a specific amount to the beneficiary as an advance, right? Let assume a situation. If the beneficiary fails to ship the goods on the time, might be possible it fails to ship the goods on time. Second, it might be possible that it not able to return the funds back to the issuing bank. Might be possible that it utilized those payment, and now it is not shipping the goods on time, nor it is returning the fund to the issuing bank. Might be possible. So if both the task or any of the task happen, then in that scenario there is no sort of security for the buyer, because the buyer is here what? Here the buyer is making an advance payment through his bank, that is issuing bank, which is authorizing another bank, that is nominated bank, to make an advance payment to the beneficiary in advance. So here in under unsecured loan, the buyer is taking responsibility of all sort of risk involved, whether it is financial, whether it is performance, right? So under unsecured loan, the buyer here has to bear all sort of risk, whether it is financially or any other sort of risk. If we talk about secured loan, so we can say that the loan which is secured by any sort of guarantee, it can be a security, it can be a collateral, or whatever it is. So secured loan is what? Secured loan is that type of loan which is granted under red clause LC and which is backed by a guarantee from the exporter bank in favor of the buyer, right? Under this type of loan, the issuing bank will only make the payment to the beneficiary as an advance if the exporter provides a guarantee from his bank in favor of beneficiary, stating if the exporter fails, whether it fails in shipping the goods on time, or if it fails to refund the fund, if in that time or in both of the aspect, if the exporter fails, or in any of the aspect exporter fails, then the issuing bank will claim the fund from the exporter bank, right? So here the exporter can provide the guarantee in the form of, under this type of guarantee, under this type of secured loan, the exporter has to provide a guarantee from his bank. The guarantee can be in the form of standby LC, or it can be in the form of a bank guarantee, where it undertakes that if there is a failure from the exporter side, either can be a performance, either can be a financial, then the exporter bank will make the payment to the importer's bank. Basis on this guarantee, the issuing bank will make the advance payment to that exporter. So it will be called as secure loan. Now, who is authorized to make the advance payment under Red Clause LC? When at the time of LC issuance, the issuing bank will put a clause stating that the specific bank is authorized to make advance payment to the beneficiary whenever it claims. Means under this type of LC, when the issuing bank issues a LC, it authorizes a bank that is called as a nominated bank to make the payment to the beneficiary in advance. So here the issuing bank authorizes a bank that is called as nominated bank, which make payment on the behalf of issuing bank whenever there is a claim of advance payment from the exporter side. So if exporter make a claim for advance payment, then the nominated bank will make the payment. After that, the nominated bank will get reimbursed through issuing bank, right? So here the nominated bank is authorized by the issuing bank to make an advance payment up to the extent as stated in the letter of credit before the shipment of the goods happen, right? Now we will understand what are the advantages of letter of credit, right? As we know that Red Clause LC is what? It's making an advance payment to the beneficiary before shipment of goods. So here we can say that Red Clause LC is what? It is a source of fund for whom? For the exporter, because here the exporter is receiving an advance payment from the issuing bank. Then what it is a source of fund for the exporter, because the exporter can utilize that fund in carrying out its pre-shipment activities. Pre-shipment activities means those activities which is need to be carrying out before the shipment of goods happened, right? So Red Clause LC's advantage, one of the advantage of Red Clause LC is that it is a source of fund for the exporter, because here exporter receives a payment in advance for the carrying out pre-shipment activities, and which will definitely incur charges or expenses which the beneficiary does not want to make those payment out of his pocket. So it is a source of fund for the exporter, right? After that, it saves cost for the exporter. How it save cost for the exporter? Because when exporter has received fund, then the exporter can utilize that fund in pre-shipment activities. But let assume if the exporter does not receive any sort of expenses, or let assume that it is not the type of Red Clause LC, might it be another sort of LC, or confirm LC, or irrevocable LC, or any sort of LC, then here the buyer does not make any sort of advance payment to the beneficiary. Then the beneficiary has to incur those expenses out of his own pocket, for which it has need to be carried out the pre-shipment activities. For any sort of pre-shipment activity, the exporter need to make expenses from out of his own pocket, na? So but in Red Clause LC, it receives the advance payment, so it utilizes that advance payment for those sort of expenses. So it ultimately saves his own funds, so that it can utilize those funds in some another project, right? So we can say that it saves the cost because here the exporter does not need to make any sort of expenses out of his pocket. So it can utilize those funds in some other aspect. Now the another one is the healthy working capital. What is this healthy working capital here? Here, as the exporter receives an advance payment under this LC, so exporter can carry out all activities. Whenever the exporter is carrying out activity without spending any sort of money from his own pocket, then it means that neither there is a shortage of fund for the exporter nor there is excess of fund. So we can say that there is a balance of funds. Not the too much fund is required, not the fund is less in their account. So we can say that for the exporter it's a healthy working capital, or it provides a healthy working capital because whenever the exporter needs the fund for carrying out its pre or post shipment activity, it can utilize those. But here it can utilize only for pre shipment. So we can say that it is the initial stage of the production where the exporter need to spend money so that it can purchase raw material, it can manufacture those goods, it can pack those goods. So it requires some sort of fund. That fund is already he or she has received from the issuing bank as an advance. So it keeps its working capital as balance because here it neither had to spend any sort of money in pre-shipment activity. In post-shipment, it will automatically get the funds from the issuing bank at the time of presentation. So it maintains its working capital. Neither there will be a case of excess working capital, nor neither there will be a case of shortage of fund. Now the last advantage of a red clause LC is this: if it is a secured type of loan, if the loan rendered under a loan paid in the red clause LC is of secured type, then if the beneficiary fails to ship the goods, then the beneficiary has to return the fund back to the issuing bank along with the interest portion. If the exporter fails to make the shipment of goods on time, then the exporter has to return the fund back to the issuing bank. Also, it has to pay the interest value of the amount if it is a secure type of loan. If it is an unsecured type of loan, then the buyer has to bear all the risk. But if it is a secure type, then the exporter has to make the payment along with interest. Else, it can revoke the guarantee. Right? Now we will discuss what are the disadvantage of red clause LC is. Number one disadvantage of red clause LC is misuse of pre-shipment finance. As under red clause LC, there is an advance payment being made to the beneficiary as an advance for a specific amount. So it might be a possible, or it might be there is a possibility that the exporter does not utilize those funds in pre-shipment activities. Might be possible, or might be possible that it does not utilize the said fund for the said LC, or it might be possible that it will utilize those funds for some paying or some other own debt. Might be possible. So there is always a risk that the exporter might utilize that fund for some another aspect rather than this LC. So there always be a risk that the exporter may utilize this fund for paying his own debt, for paying his own due, or whatever it is. Now after that, there is also one of the major disadvantage of this LC is it is one of the expensive LC. Why it is one of the expensive? Under this LC, the issuing bank carries a fixed fees which is usually higher than the normal LCs. Also here the issuing bank makes an advance payment to the seller, then it also carries a advance. Here the importer has to make the payment for the interest portion plus for the LC value also. So we can say that this type of LC is expensive for importer. Why it is expensive? Expensive for exporter because under this LC, the processing fees is higher than the usual LCs, or we can say the higher than other sort of type of LCs. Plus here the buyer also need to make the interest portion. Why it is we need to make the interest portion? Because it has already provided the advance to the beneficiary under this LC. So when the issuing bank making an advance payment, then from the date of making the advance payment till to the date of till to the date of final payment, then the between these two date the period is called as usance period. So for that period interest is need to be borne, which is borne by the buyer. So the buyer is need to make the payment of interest portion plus the overall value of a LC after deducting the advance payment portion. So we can say that here this type of LC is expensive to the buyer, because it might be also be possible that for issuing red clause LC the issuing bank may ask a collateral security from the buyer, because here it is making advance payment. So it is always a risky or for the issuing bank if it is unsecured type of loan is paid under this LC. After that, if it is unsecured loan is paid under this LC, then the buyer has to bear all the financial risk if exporter fails to ship or if exporter fails to pay. Any scenario, if exporter fails, the buyer has to bear all the financial loss, because the buyer has to make the payment to the issuing bank, and then issuing bank has to make the payment to the nominated bank, because issuing bank has already authorized the nominated bank to make the advance payment to the beneficiary, right? So it is the disadvantage, these are the disadvantage of the red clause LC. Now we will discuss the last scenario. If it is unsecured type of loan is paid under the red clause LC, then if beneficiary fails, under the red clause LC, when the payment is made on unsecured type of loan, then the nominated bank will get reimbursed by the issuing bank. Why nominated bank will get reimbursed by the issuing bank? Because nominated bank is that bank which is authorized by the issuing bank to make an advance payment to the beneficiary. So when the nominated bank has paid the amount as an advance to the beneficiary, then the issuing bank has to make the payment to the nominated bank, whether the exporter fails to ship the goods or whether the exporter fails to refund the fund back. In both the scenario, the issuing bank has to make the payment to the nominated bank along with the interest, right? After that, now who will reimburse issuing bank? Ultimately, the buyer will have to reimburse to the issuing bank along with the interest portion. So in the end, the buyer has to bear all the risk. So we can say that if it is an unsecured type of loan, then buyer has to bear the loss. If it is secured type of loan is there, then the issuing bank can claim the fund from the exporter banks against the incoming SBLC or a bank guarantee. Why? Because in secure type of loan we know that issuing bank can only make the advance payment upon receiving the guarantee from that exporter bank. If the exporter fails to make the shipment of goods on time, or if the exporter fails to refund the fund back to the nominated bank or issuing bank, then in that scenario issuing bank can claim the fund from the exporter bank, right? So these are the two situations, right? Hope you like the video. If you like the video, do hit on the like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.